of us have them friends, ones we can depend on. Friends.
Shut the fuck up! I don't even like Houdini.
With buildings that make a killing, man. Woo! Tough times, man. Are we finished or are we done with this Joe Budden debacle? We've seen it. We've seen the shows. We've seen the responses. We've seen the responses to the responses. I'm tired of it, personally. I was tired of it when it started because I don't feel like it should have been public conception. We've seen Maul and Rory respond. Then Joe Budden respond to the response. And academics is responding to the response of the response. I don't know. I just know if you're day one, like I am, or if you're day 301, you're deeply affected by this. I can't say I didn't see it coming, though. This happens when big money starts to come in. And I don't know who made all these people on social media big money educated. Not to say they don't have any, who knows. But I know everybody became lawyers and executives overnight when this happened. And thank God this didn't happen in my era, because I'm so used to seeing these things happen. I seen the Hot Boys break up. I seen, to me, the most tragic hip-hop breakup of all times. Hold on, let me stop. Feel a little dry. Lips are a little too big, bruh. I ain't trying to be on this camera looking like Tyrone Bigham. What was I saying? Well, another thing about just becoming older, man, you just lose your memory a lot. But the most tragic breakup in hip-hop history to me was the Rockefeller breakup. And that was tough, man. That was tough to watch. Especially in our era, because unless you were in New York, I don't want to be glossy on camera, too glossy. Unless you were in New York, you didn't really have any detail about what was happening. I had to literally log into AOL. No, that's a long time. I had to literally log into AOL on a random day, not knowing there were any issues with Rockefeller. And boom, you seen they were selling the company, split down. Jay was getting this piece, Biggs was getting this piece, Dame was getting this piece, and everybody was going their own ways. And it was like, what is happening here? That was a shell shock for me, to the point where it still bothers me. I compare any type of breakup to the Rockefeller breakup. If I break up with a woman, it's like, yo, was this bad as the Rockefeller breakup? Oh, I can live with this. Anyway, yeah, man, it's a tough one. for me, I got into podcasting because of, I don't want to say them because it wasn't them. It was Drink Champs. I started with Drink Champs in 2015 or 16, whatever. Then I went back and listened to Joe and all of them because I didn't know what a podcast was. I had my first iPhone in 2014 and I saw the podcast emblem there and clicked it, scrolled through it, didn't understand it, came back out of it. I wasn't in the SoundCloud. I was still buying CDs and streaming a little bit. And that was that. I wasn't privy to the podcast lingo. But Drink Champs jumped. I couldn't even tell you the first maybe 3 or 4 episodes that really got me into it. It was the first few episodes. Fat Joe might have been the first one. Memphis Bleak and DMX. And when I saw the DMX one, I said, I'm going to do that. And then I knew, like I'm a heavy advocate for Joe as an MC. I always have been since the Triangle mixtapes back in the day. You might want to go look that up. Paul Kane, was that Paul Kane? Paul Kane, Joe. Yeah, Paul Kane, Joe, and Fabulous. Man, that for me was like, and Joe was very, I felt like he spoke to introverts musically. So I've always been a heavy advocate of Joe Budden, the MC, and I always felt like he didn't get the flowers he deserved. So I wouldn't even know Maul and Rory without Joe. But like I said, I got in the Drink Champs and I heard Joe had a podcast, but I didn't even understand what a podcast was to go listen to it. I got familiar with podcasts through Drink Champs. I went back and listened to Joe Budden from episode 1 to wherever they were at the time. And that's how we get here. Because once I started in my mind developing what would become what is Uncle Vick Rants today from Drink Champs and Joe Budden Podcast. So this is a heavy significance for me, but I'm not going to let it weigh on me to the point where I'm like, fuck Joe Budden and fuck Rory and fuck Maul and people picking sides, and you can support them both. If Joe Budden, whatever he does with Ice and Ish, I'm supporting. If they go on tour, I'm going. If Rory and Maul, happen when you live by train tracks and shit. If Rory and Maul do something, whatever they do, and if they go on tour, I'm going to see that too. Thank you, God. I was blessed enough to go see the JBP boys. It's like peanut butter, and that's a hard thing to say. The JBP boys on tour while they were in the prime of their camaraderie, or it seemed like it. I know they were still getting along then, and if you watching, you can tell the chemistry was deteriorating in the last few months. You can see it. So that's where I guess I come to talk about how social media reacts, because that's all I can really speak to. I'm not invested personally enough to have ill feelings or disdain toward any of them guys personally. I do not know them, and neither do you. You not in those rooms. You are not a lawyer. You are not you're just not an executive. You're not any of that stuff to be able to talk about this shit. But everybody has become in-home lawyers and executives overnight. Yo, man. Two things can be true at the same time. And I think that Joe believes what he's saying. I think that they believe what they're saying. I think there's a miscommunication here. And as a person who's a big component of loyalty, I'd rather see those guys, and not to say see because it would be unbeknownst to myself, but I would rather those guys get into a room and converse and be able to mend their friendship or agree to disagree and walk away with a mutual respect. And never give us a pod again. If that's the case, I would rather see they came in, especially Maul and Joe. They came in as real bros, living together, all type of shit. You don't want to see that happen, man. At least I don't. I hate to see friends fall out. I hated to see the hot boys diss each other. I hated to see Jay send subliminal shots at Dame, man. Or I hate to see that. Especially because when you come up together, like, even when I watch Boogie, Dame's son, go through what he goes through, it's like Jay is that man's godfather, and these dudes don't even speak no more. You know what I'm saying? I just say Boogie goes through anything, but I'm just saying he's on TV. So I see him go through his trajectory. And it's like, why can't, it's enough money. It's enough money for niggas to have the mutual respect at least. That's where I see it at. And, you know, I was going to comment on academic because I feel like he moved like a bitch, but I'm not dedicating none of my time to academics. This should take time to do. And I don't want to waste that much of it. I just know that it's a sad thing to see. And everybody's like, I'm watching people say Joe stole money. They're trying to make my man out here look like Suge Budden's out here. And I never say Budden with an S, but that was funnier to say it that way to me at that time. But my man out here like he's Suge Budden or something. And like Rory and Maul is Dre and Snoop getting fucked out they publishing or something. And it's just sad to see, man. So I really do hope. It ain't about hopes and anything. I support what everybody do, man. And I don't know anybody. And that's why I'm trying to phase out of talking about celebrity shit so much. Because a lot of the times I come here and I speak, and when I'm on the watch back, I feel like I'm very disingenuous. Because I don't care about this celebrity shit. I just don't care. I try to make myself care because they say, you got to talk about trending topics to get your views up. And I don't care. Like, if I got to sacrifice my integrity for views, I'll never be able to do this for that. And I'm just saying I'm never going to talk about celebrity stuff, but it has to really interest me. I have to find the deeper conversation to be able to talk about it. But I don't really care about this stuff. And I see people on social media going crazy and fighting with each other over people they don't even know. It's cool to love them, and that's why I don't view myself as a fan, because I'm not fanatical about none of this shit. I'm a supporter. I like what I like. I'm going to go see it. I'm a support it. But I'm not fanatical to the point where I'm literally going to be like, fuck Maul, fuck Joe Budden, or fuck Rory, or whatever, man. And I'm trying to stop being so obscene when I speak and exude more of my dialogue because I can speak well. And my mom told me I cuss too much, so I'm trying to fix that, working on that. Working on a lot of different things. I didn't feel like coming here and dancing and putting on a show or none of that. I just didn't feel like it. So, not doing that. You know, man. And I don't want to clown all the time. I'm goofy. I like to clown sometimes, but I don't clown all the time. And speaking of clowning, I guess if I can get out of this whole Suge Budden rant, I think that I should speak on my last wacko of the week. Double entendre. Don't even ask me how. The last one I did, and last is in my last one, because this will be the last one. I'm not doing it no more. I don't care that much to talk about celebrity stuff. But Dr. Umar Johnson, I gave him wacko of the week 2 weeks ago, last week or something like that. And I never accentuated my point at all over why he got it. And I was having a conversation with my guy Logic, shout out to Logic, but he was saying that I sounded contradictory. And there's also nothing wrong with being a contradictive person. I don't know if that's a word. Or a hypocrite even. That's a very regular emotion. I know we tend to demonize contradiction, but it's regular. If you've evolved at all, you should be you should be a contradictor to some degree. But yeah, he said basically that I seemed as if, even though I said, I don't care how he feels about interracial relationships, and he has the right to feel the way he wants, I guess, seemed as if I was taking a shot at him for that reason. Because I never gave my point to why I gave him wacko of the week. I just forgot it. You know, man, you lose your memory, especially your short-term memory. I could remember some shit that happened when I was 3 years old, and I can't remember what happened 3 minutes ago. I really don't even remember what I just said about Joe Budden. It happens. I gave him wacko of the week because I feel like all of these guys fall up under the clown tree to me, like Lil Nas X, 6ix9ine, Academics, Kevin Samuels, Dr. Umar. I feel like they clown and they shuck and jive for their audiences, to build their audiences rather. And I'm not opposed to it because you should be entertaining. I'm trying to figure out how to be entertaining in this. I don't necessarily know how because I don't know if I'm an entertainer. That's why I quit standing up. I'm not a stand-up comedian. I don't have jokes. I'm not funny. I try to be, but it just doesn't work for me. I feel like his clowning dilutes his message. And that's why I gave him Wacko of the Week. Because you can't speak for the betterment of your... Well, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. But you can't speak, or you shouldn't speak, to the furthering of your people and then be on some Sambo shit at the same time. How you going to be for the betterment of black folks and then you out here Samboing? Not to say that, you know, not to say that he can't be performative, because people like him and they watch him because he's performative. But you have a powerful message, sir. One that I agree with. I feel like he should tone, and this is my opinion. I can't tell that man what he should and shouldn't do. It's working for him. But I feel like sometimes people just watch him because he's entertaining and they don't too much care about what he's saying. So, you know, I feel like that's why I gave him Wacko of the Week, because his clowning dilutes the message. Now, like I said, I'm done with this, but I couldn't leave before I give one more out because I just felt like I have to. So, let's try this, man. I'm just gonna let this run for y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all
wake up and trade places with somebody who was on the heavier side.
I'm glad she asked, because this is giving me very much when that sociologist Dr. Jane asked that room full of white people, raise your hand if you want to be treated like how black people are treated in this country, or raise your hand if you would wake up and be black tomorrow. And nobody raised their hand, and that's because they know that there's some systemic bullshit that happens to black people that does not happen to them and will never happen to white people.
You're right.
So, yes, if I asked you right now, have you been shamed? Yes, you've been through a lot. Yes, it sucks being a person in this society because we have to go through so much to love ourselves. But would you switch places with a fat person's body tomorrow? You would not, because you know that there's a whole system that oppresses fat people that you do not experience and that you will never experience. So let's remember, body positivity, yes, we want to end harassment and shame, but we also are working to dismantle a system that oppresses fat people.
What? Lizzo? Now, don't get me, before I go on this tangent, I love Lizzo. I think Lizzo's a very attractive woman. And if you know anything about me, I love a big chick with a body enormous. Hey. I don't even know what to say about this. Like, fat shaming is equivalent to systematic racism? Really? So, has a cop ever stopped you, Lizzo, or any fat person for that matter? And it's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna put my knee in your neck. Like, what the? I love Lizzo's music. I love the last album. She's made it very difficult to listen to it because of all of her doofy activity. I love the twerk videos. I love when she get ratchet. I love when she get naked. Because like I said, I love a big chick with a body enormous. I was supporting big chicks when Jodeci was hot and Tupac was alive. I love me a big woman. I'm not even discriminating, and I don't want to body shame. Like, I love all different types of shapes and sizes. Why not? God put them here for me and you. Love them. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not a big skinny girl guy. I don't like the ones with, you can see their vertebrae. You can see the spine come out the back. Or they got that little chest. I don't know if it's the clavicle. They got the, you can see their bones and their cleavage. Be looking like they heart in jail and shit like that. That ain't really my cup of tea, but I'm not going to shame them. I know some girls feel real bad about being skinny. So I don't want to make them feel bad, but fuck that. Okay, sorry, Mom. I'm trying to cuss, but I'll figure that out next go around. This is doofy, man. And Lizzo's just big on doing doofy stuff, man. And that's why it bothers me. Just like when you went to the Lakers game dressed like Rikishi and you got mad because everybody didn't want to see their kids see you walking through an arena at a basketball game, not a Lizzo concert, dressed like Rikishi. Like, for all that, if you was going to do that, you could have went to WWE and did that and just and did the Rikishi dance. You could have did that. What are we talking about? This is why you get due for the decade. Because this is the last wacko of the week. And it's rightfully so. Because how can you compare a choice like being overweight, and I'm sitting here with this baller belly looking like Gucci before he went to jail, and I'm ashamed of it sometimes. But I know what I do. I depress eat. I know I bought it on myself. Not to say everybody else that did, because some people have genetics and accidents or depression or reasons for becoming a bigger person. But don't sit there and put that world in the world of systematic racism. Come on now. No, I'm not going to choose being fat over being smaller. But now you want to compare that to the case study that Jay Elliott did with black and white kids? Are you nuts? Numb nuts? You can't be this remedial, Lizzo. You're very talented. I assume you didn't get to where you got by being dumb. So you can't be this fucking dumb, Lizzo. You can't be this dumb. How? I ain't never seen that happen. So if you get in the elevator with a fat white chick and she call you a fat black nigger, or she just call you a nigger, what? What are we saying here? I don't have to give y'all a bunch of reasons to why she gets wacko of the week. The comment is why she got wacko. Y'all heard it. Due for the decade. That's my last wacko of the week. Man. Trying to change the feel, man. I don't know if there's a quote for this one or anything to take away from it, man. Let's just be better. And I'm going to figure out a different way to talk to everybody and find some other things to speak about, because this is the world. There are more things to speak about out here than in there. And I just be sometimes I get caught up in social media and I forget that social media isn't the world. It isn't the world. No matter how many times people talk about the same things, it's a bunch of people in the world who don't feel the same way that everybody inside that idiot box feels. So I'm going to try to speak on more worldly issues, man. More real shit. We're all weirdos. Call the other weirdos weirdos. That's how the story goes. So don't do it for the likes. Doing stuff for the likes. Like what you do.